Pro sports are some of the most lucrative paying jobs a person can ever have, and the most fun. I mean, who wouldn't want to play sports for a living to make millions of dollars? But considering all sports, where does LeBron James, the face of the NBA, rank all time? What's going on, everybody? It's Handles. And after players in all sports continually sign these fat, and I mean fat contracts for a ton of money, you can only just imagine what you do with that kind of money. Like seriously, LeBron James is only the 6th highest paid athlete in the NBA. That's right, the face of the NBA is behind Stephen Curry, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, John Wall, and even Chris Paul. Yes, John Wall and Chris Paul are paid more money by the NBA than LeBron James. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, because they definitely are great players, but you get the point. For example, Chris Paul is being paid on average $41,358,814 per year. Even if you just took off the first two numbers, that is some life-changing amount of money for anyone. Take off the third number, and that could double or even triple a lot of people's current salary. That kind of salary would allow someone to purchase stuff like this, and this. Now, a $41 million salary is insane. At least none of us would ever touch or know what we would do with that kind of money. But funny enough, it doesn't even rank in the top 30 of the highest paid athletes. So before we get into the list, we have to know just how much money are these other top athletes making. But to clarify what I will be saying, whenever I say what a player is making, I will be talking about the person's total earnings, including salary, endorsements, and whatever else they do to make money in 2020. And that means due to coronavirus, basically every athlete except those from American football received less money than they were supposed to receive. For example, the NBA had to reduce salaries of players by nearly 25%. And thanks to Forbes.com, they posted a graph on exactly which sports and how much players from that sport cracked the top 100 in 2020. Here, take a look. It is interesting to note that basketball does have the most highest paid athletes, which does mean it is the most, lucrative sport to play. But the roster size compared to other team sports is one of the smallest, being only 15 players max on each team. So that does mean it is one of the hardest to make it too. But anyways, luckily enough for us, sports salaries are completely public as well as player endorsements. So this is the top 20 highest paid athletes in 2020. At number 20 is Deontay Wilder, who's best known to knock out every opponent he's ever faced. Literally, except one. That was his recent opponent, Tyson Fury. It was also his highest payday ever, receiving roughly $25 million for the fight alone, even though he ended up losing. He made a total of $46.5 million this year, $46 million coming from his winnings or salary, and $500,000 coming from endorsements. This next person is also a boxer, that is Anthony Joshua. He won a gold medal in the Olympic Games in 2012 and is one of the best super heavyweight boxers today. He is a two-time unified heavyweight champion, having held the WBA, IBF, WBO, and IBO and all the damn titles that you can name since 2019. He made $36 million this year as well as $11 million from endorsements, all totaling up to $47 million. At number 18 is none other than Giannis Antetokounmpo. He made $19.6 million from the NBA plus another $28 million from endorsements, for a grand total of $47.6 million on the year. I mean, considering he is the reigning MVP and will likely win MVP again this year, nothing can get really more marketable than him. Giannis is still young too. He's going to be making much more than this soon enough. Moving on, at number 17 is James Harden. Yeah, not too surprising, he did sign a $228 million Supermax extension with the Rockets recently. But I do think Harden has a little too much money to me knowing what to do with it, if you know what I mean. At number 16 is Conor McGregor, definitely one of the most famous names in mixed martial arts or even boxing. He made a total of 48 million this year. However, it is a lower mark for him considering he made over 100 million on the Mayweather fight alone. Well, I guess that just comes with the Mayweather name. At 15 is Jared Goff. While he was looking very promising in 2018, people thought he could crack the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. He's sort of been having down years since, but he's still young though, being only 25 years old. But he is in fact number 15 on the highest paid athletes, making a total of 49 million, 47 million coming from the NFL and 2 million coming from endorsements. At number 14 is Rory. Not too surprising when you're the best golfer today. He made a total of $52 million this year, putting him as the second highest paid golfer. I mean, you can only guess who's first. At 13 is Lewis Hamilton, which I actually found to be pretty surprising. I didn't know race drivers could make this much money. Well, you learn something new every day. He was paid a total of 54 million, with 12 million of that coming from endorsements. Next we got Russell Westbrook, who made 29 million from the NBA and 27 million from endorsements, making a total of $56 million. At number 11 is Tyson Fury. As I mentioned previously, his fight with Deontay Wilder did give both of them their highest payday ever. Fury did win that match and made himself a nice $57 million for the year. Number 10 is Carson Wentz, who made 59.1 million. At number 9 is Kirk Cousins, and we now break the damn 60 million mark. Kirk made $60.5 million. At number 8, I don't know if you guessed it right earlier when I mentioned who was obviously the highest paid golfer. Well, that would be Tiger Woods. If you didn't guess him then, well, you must be living under a rock. He made 2.3 million from winnings, and wow, an insane 60 million from endorsements. Hey, that's the kind of money you get when you're the most famous golfer there is, even if you're not the best anymore. Next is Kevin Durant, who, even though he didn't play at all this year, still made 28.9 million from the NBA and 35 million from endorsements, making a total of 63.9 million. At number 6, Stephen Curry, who is definitely the second most marketable player in the NBA, and companies know that since he made $44 million from endorsements and 30.4 million from the NBA, making him now the first person on the list to break the 70 million mark, which is 74.4 million. And at number 5 is the king himself, LeBron James. Obviously the face of the NBA, the most marketable player. Even though he's not the highest paid player by the NBA, he still makes number 5 on this list because he made a total of 60 million from endorsements this year. Along with the 28.2 million from his salary, he made a grand total of $88.2 million. These next 3 guys are all soccer or football players, and when you're at the top of soccer, your base salary will be insane. At 4 is Neymar, who made 70.5 million from his team and 25 million from endorsements, making him $95.5 million. God damn, man. Next is Messi, who made a total of $104 million. He is the first to break the 100 million mark this year, and you know, deservedly so. Since this is the last soccer player, you can only guess that it's Cristiano Ronaldo. And yes, it is. Now playing for Juventus, he made a total of $105 million. And with that kind of money, he buys things like this, and just so much more. And finally, at number 1, can y'all guess who it is? I was actually very surprised finding out who number 1 was. If it's not someone playing soccer, then it has to be someone from another sport. Got your guess? Let me know in the comments if you got this right. That person is Roger Federer, who made only 6.3 million as his salary. I know, funny, only 6.3 million. But he made $100 million from endorsements alone, making him $106.3 million and the highest paid athlete of the year. Over the years, the NBA salary cap has gone up and up and up. Soon enough, even the role players are going to be making $50 million a year. But in the end, I don't think any athlete really cares about being near the top or at the bottom of this list, since at number 100 is 21.8 million, and that's more than any normal person would ever sniff in his lifetime. But anyways guys, that's the video for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments about the next video, about what I should make, and later y'all.